Okay. Are we live? Guys, am I live? Sorry. Give me a sec. And if everything is destroyed, my life is chaos, nothing makes sense. Ding. Ooh. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to grab a tea. I made a tea downstairs. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. Sure. Nope, I got it. I did a fresh pot. Fresh pot! All right, there you go. Love you.
Love you.
Oh. All right. Oh my God. What's going on? How's it going? What is that? Oh. Stuff. Look, I have a light here. Is this weird? Check this out. Check this out. Okay. This is me with the light. It's really bright. I don't know if this is too much. Is this too much? But check it. This is without it. Love you. Meow. Yeah. What do we think? Light? Yeah, I think you're right. Son of a gun. Oh. Just feel like I feel like I'm in prison, you know? I am in prison right now. Oh. I don't know. I feel like I look better without it because you can see less of my discrepancies. Okay. Oh, maybe I just turn it down. That's also an option. Oh, guys. I think we found a happy middle ground. Okay. Who cares? Nothing matters. Okay. I got my tea. Lindsay just messaged me. She's like, you're live, just so you know. I know. This is just I have no professional qualities whatsoever. So I thought I'd figure out the lights after I went live. Welcome, guys. Welcome to this live. I'm kind of a little out of breath, but I will catch it. Hopefully. Maybe this, you know, there's gonna be one time I don't. Could be this time, but hopefully not. I welcome you guys here. We are going to be talking firstly about The Last House on Needless Street by Katrina Ward, which is this book here. This was our October read for the Sick Book Club. Awesome cover, I gotta say. Like this is a top-notch cover. This kind of reminds me of like a early 2000s horror movie that was like starring Sarah Michelle Gellar or something like that, you know? It's just good. It's just well done. Reminds me of my youth. It's okay. All right. Oh my God. I gotta work out more. So one thing that I noticed when I was kind of getting ready for this live and I was like, okay, Last House on the Needless Street. It's the first book that I read in October, and I read it by like October 5th. So it's been over a month since I've read this book, and I was like, no biggie. Whatever. And then I was trying to think about like the story and the book and the characters. And of all the books that we've read for the book club so far, I think this one is probably the most confusing to remember, You know what I mean? I feel like it is quite confusing. Oh, you know what? I should make sure that everybody's did I click on something? Everybody's able to be in here, but it is I was just trying to think of like the general plot line and all the characters, and I was like, wait, what happened there? Wait, no. Who was that? Because there's a lot of switches, a lot of switcheroos, a lot of like what is happening here, a lot of kind of fake outs. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Trying to make sure to check the Patreon now when I go live, just to make sure that no one's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I think we're good. Let me know if we're not, but I think we're good. Okay. So I'm going to try and do what we're going to start with here is I'm going to do my absolute very best to do an overview of what this book was and kind of what happened here. I think from there we'll kind of go on to some questions, see what you guys thought about it, and then see kind of what happens. Ding. If I mute that, can you still hear me? Hold on. Can you still hear me right now? Can you still hear me right now? Can you still hear me right now? Yes. Okay, sweet. I'll just leave that muted then. So, what this book is essentially about is a man named Ted who we're introduced to, and he appears to be not a great person. But there are hints that maybe we should be sympathetic towards him. Like he calls his mom mommy. There's some strange things where you're like, okay, like what? But we are led to believe that this is not a good person. What has happened here is there is a young girl named Lulu who goes missing. She has an older sister named Dee, who is basically doing everything. It's been 11 years since Lulu has been captured, but Dee is doing everything she can to try and find her missing sister. And it's all of her searches and travels and whatever has led her to believe that Ted has captured Lulu. And so she gets the house next to Ted's and basically tries to just figure out where Lulu is and what Ted did with her. Ted, there are also other characters. See, I knew this was going to happen. There are also there are other characters in this book. One is a cat named Olivia, okay, who is a God-fearing cat. This is a multiple POV book, so that adds to the confusion because we're getting the perspectives from so many different characters. It is so hard to explain. I was trying to actually. When I was in the car the other day, I was trying to do an explanation to myself just driving. I probably looked insane, or maybe just looked like I was on the phone. And I was like, what am I talking about? So, sorry, I'm going to go on here. I'm going to go on. So, basically, she is led to believe that Ted is Lulu's kidnapper or murderer or whatever. So, she gets the house next to Ted's and tries to basically figure out what's happened to her sister, Lulu. There's a cat named Olivia, who is like this God-fearing cat. Kind of funny. The cat's perspectives were hilarious. There's also Ted's daughter, Lauren, who is also around. Okay? There's also another character named the Bugman, who is basically Ted's psychiatrist, who is providing him with drugs. Also, Ted has a mom. Okay? Ted had a mom, right? Seemed like a good lady. Seems like a good mom. She was a mom and also a lady. And she dies. And oh my gosh, guys, somebody help me. So, okay. Let me just go through the story. Ted, Dee finds out that Ted yeah, it's I knew this was gonna happen. It's a confusing one. It's a confusing book, but if you've read it, you can piece it all together. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's been like I should have. If I had known this was going to be as twisty and turny as it was, I would probably have saved this to later in the month so that it was still all fresh up here. But essentially, I'm going to be spoilery here. What ends up happening is that Ted suffers from DID, which is I can never say the word properly, but it's dissociative identity disorder. And so what we end up learning is that Ted Olivia and Lauren are actually just all the same person. Olivia is a personality that Ted has created to help him through the emotional pain that he's going through. Lauren is a personality he's developed to help him through the physical pain that he experienced as a child. We eventually learn that Ted's mom was a very like extremely abusive mom, and that is one of the big twists. That is that Ted's mom is actually the bad person. Okay, so bad in fact, like it was actually pretty gruesome if I remember. So like his mom would like cut him open and then sew him back together and pour boiling water on him. Pretty awful, pretty awful stuff. And so he had to, and he lives like a mile from where Lulu was kidnapped. There are a lot of circumstantial things that basically lead Dee to believe that Ted was the person that did this, when in fact it was his mom. And that is the twist and turn that we find out. That's kind of the reveal at the end, is that it was actually Ted's mom, not Ted. Ted is this poor guy who has been abused his whole life and has created these multiple personalities to help him through his life. The other twist that we find is that Dee, so the situation that we're told, this is why it gets so confusing, is because you're told the same stories a few times. When Dee's sister Lulu goes missing, we're told that, Dee, kind of just ignores her, is like trying to like go after this guy, whatever, and then gets kidnapped. But what we find out towards the end is that what actually happened is Dee like fully ignored her sister, even though she was supposed to be taking care of her, to go make out with a guy in the woods, and she told Lulu to just go play on the rocks. Lulu ends up playing on the rocks and gets like badly injured on the rocks. Dee's afraid of snakes, so she doesn't go in, and then she sees Lulu be taken. So it's kind of one of those things where it's a reveal, but like it's not Dee's fault. Like it's hard to like, it's not Dee's fault, but it's not directly Dee's fault. Like the mom did take Lulu. Oh my gosh. So basically you learn that Dee has been suffering this like overwhelming guilt her entire life, and that is why she is so intensely trying to find her sister, to overcome the guilt that she's felt for the part that she played in her sister's disappearance. What else? I'm going to stop talking for a second because, oh my God. Let me read some stuff here. Mom had issues. Yes. You've got this, Nick. Thank you, Caitlin. I don't believe that is true. Mandy. Dee was super sketchy. Where's Mandy? Mandy said something? Who's at Mandy? Oh, Mandy. Oh, you're right there. The reveal with Dee was my least favorite part. It felt less like we had an unreliable narrator and more like the writer was intentionally tricking us. And that is essentially what was happening. Katrina Ward was basically just psyching us out on a few things there. And so I feel like I didn't hate it, but a part of me also was kind of like, like there were a lot of things about the story that I feel like were kind of like, wow, like a lot of things had to go right for this to be the story. Or wrong, I guess. Cody says, did they ever give any insight as to why the mom kept taking kids? I don't really believe that they did. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there was ever any sort of like actual reason for the mom to be the way that she was. I think she was just kind of like evil character, kind of cliche evil character, but I might be wrong. Dee was just a kid too, so it's not really her fault, but she should have. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like Dee was a teenager. You know what I mean? Like it's not her. I feel like she was more of a sympathetic character for me. You know what I mean? Even though she did play a part in her sister's disappearance, I do feel like you could be very sympathetic towards that whole situation. You know what I mean? I commented in the Patreon chat, but I think this fell flat to me because Ted just seemed like an odd dude and not a murderer. Yeah, Jordan, I would agree. The entire time, and you know, I wasn't sure if maybe that was intentional. If D was, if Katrina Ward was just being really on the nose about this whole thing, and like, yeah, D is like I keep saying D. Ted is the classic kind of just oddball, quirky serial killer. Like, you know, I wasn't sure if that was kind of just what she was going for, but never ended up really being the case. The mom was practicing medical skills on them. That could be it. I might remember that. There wasn't any explanation on why the mom was a psycho. The mom described her father having an illness that caused him to murder animals and then people. So I feel like they were trying to say whatever it was ran in the family. Okay, gotcha. Runs in the family. I was all in on Ted on the first page when he said, "There's not much better than a cat on the bed." Yeah, totally. Even though the cat is him. Interesting. Okay, so what I want to ask you guys as we continue on here is something that I actually had never considered when I was reading it, but I saw someone else mention it and I thought about it, and it does make a lot of sense to me. I'm going to see if I can actually pull it up here so that I can like properly articulate what this person was saying. But it really kind of made me go like, wait a second, because what did you guys think of Dee's death? Because Dee gets bit by a snake and dies. And to me, it's one of the more janky, kind of jarring parts in the book where it's like, oh, she's just dead. You know, that's it to me felt like a really kind of weird, slightly underwhelming, slightly kind of like what sort of ending to D. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe you liked it. I'd love to hear what you guys thought about the end of D. Is this it? I can't find it. That's okay. Anyone any thoughts on Dee's demise? Yeah. It felt like the author really hated Dee and just wanted her gone and was like, okay, yeah, snake bite full circle for Dee. Yeah, for me, that was kind of the thing. It just felt very like, okay, let's just kind of like end her and that's it. That's all. Maybe it's like a representation of her struggle with the snakes and her dealing with her trauma. And so getting killed by a snake is like representative. Yeah, I could see that. But again, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, man, that's so coincidental. Like there's just a snake there. You know, it's just, I don't know. Honestly found it heartbreaking when Dee died. Poor thing was riddled with trauma, which was basically the reason that she died. Yeah, I thought it was a bit anticlimactic. The book said something along the lines of her just laying where she died for the rest of time. Yeah, that's scary, actually. That's pretty freaky in and of itself. Kind of the only thing that, well, not the only thing, but the thing I found kind of like a bummer and sad about that is that shortly thereafter, her sister Lulu's remains are found because Ted remembers his mom taking the suitcase up to the cellar or the attic room or whatever. And so Lulu's remains are found. It's a bummer that Dee couldn't at least kind of get that closure. You know what I mean? Kind of makes her end that much more tragic. But yeah, just a way to wrap things up. And I feel like I got to just appreciate that more. You know, sometimes a story plot is just, its plot point is just like, yeah, we gotta just have things happen here. Nothing is going to be perfect. I get it. It's fine. I didn't love it. I'm having this tea. This is super ginger. It's called super ginger. Really gingery, really spicy. So the thing I was going to tell you guys about was this is another thing that I read. Someone thinks there are some people that think that Dee was actually another character or personality that Ted had created because of how odd it is that she just kind of disappears. She dies and no one ever sees her. She's never mentioned again. You know, she's just gone and that's it. Like, it's kind of like, oh, like maybe the reason no one finds her is because like she was never actually real. And that Ted ended up creating this whole storyline through D of Lulu's disappearance because he kind of had suspected that his mom had done something to the lollipop girl, right? And so maybe this entire thing was just like made up because again, it's very circumstantial stuff. Like she's just able to find an empty house next to Ted's house, you know, like there's a few things where it's like, that's very convenient, you know. So anyway. It is mentioned that she rented the house, but even just the fact that there's a rentable house right beside him is like very convenient. You know, I thought it was an interesting thought. You know, I don't necessarily know that I feel that way. I feel like D was a real character, but I could totally like his argument made sense when I was reading it. I was like, yeah, I could see D being not real. That might make sense. She was in the boarded up house next door the whole time. Weird. Yeah, like it was weird. It was just kind of strange, you know. She kills all of his birds too, you know. That was kind of gross, right? All the birds. That was kind of sad. What did Caitlin say? I like the idea of Ted renting the house next door and hiding there while watching his own house. Yeah, right? I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, well, maybe. And maybe the Bugman's not even real. Maybe he's giving himself the medication. Who knows? So yeah, very confusing book. Hard to really, you know, get a very clear plot line going. Apologies, but I think that it was a good pick. I feel like not the scariest book, but I did enjoy the mystery of it, and I thought the characters were cool, and I thought her writing was good. You know, I feel like I would check out another Katrina Ward book. I think based on this one. Maybe not anytime soon, but I would. I'm not writing her off by any means. What did I write down here? Mm. It was also interesting that we're kind of led to believe that Ted is like the bad guy, the kind of, you know, the serial killer, the like the menace, like something's up with Ted, and that Dee and Ted's mom are like these kind of more like good angelic sort of personalities, and then by the end it completely flips. Ted is the good guy, and not that Dee's a bad person, but you know, Dee and Ted's mom are kind of actually a little bit more. Um, I ended up assuming. Sorry, Meeson says I ended up assuming she wasn't ever found because she got lost. She got so lost in finding her sister, it kind of broke ties with people. That's interesting. I like that. Once you get it, it's a fun ride. It was more of an M Night story. Yeah, it does feel very M Nighty. I could see him pulling off a movie like this for sure if he wanted to. He's probably got things to do. I don't know. Nick D was lashing out because of her grief. Even when she realized she was responsible, she had to chase Ted. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, the whole grief aspect of this book was interesting. I like the last. I was gonna reread it, but I didn't have time. But the last thing that the afterword here that Katrina put in this book about her research into DID and all of that, I thought was pretty cool, pretty nicely done. You know, D was lashing out. I read that. Amy and the guys. Amy and the guys. Amy and the guys. Do you like Emil and the Sniffers? I don't know. It was a good read, but I don't think I'd read it a second time. I would agree. Trevor Hunt. Also, did Ted kill the Bugman outside of the gas station? Bear hug of death. The Bugman plotline was the most confusing to me. I would maybe agree as well. I found a lot of this confusing, but it did kind of come together. But then I read like 5 other books and I'm trying to piece this together again. And it's like, wait, what was that? What was that? It's a toughie to kind of go back to. I started reading again because of your channel. Thank you. Right on. Sweet. Love to hear it. It is also gendered. People are inherently inclined to trust women over men. So even though Ted was 100% innocent, we even saw him as a fault in some way. Interesting. Caitlin, has anyone watched the show United States of Tara? Ted's Altered Darkness reminds me of Toni Collette's Gibby. I've never seen that. I don't really watch TV, but I will check it out. Amy and the guys, she went so hard at Ted being the bad guy, it was hard to sympathize with him. And when the DID was revealed, my girlfriend called DID like two chapters in. I've been hearing from a lot of people that read a lot of true crime stuff and a lot of detective stuff and mystery stuff. A lot of the people that read that stuff pretty consistently were saying that they pegged this like within by like chapter 3. So I didn't personally. I didn't piece anything together at any point, but you know. So what do we think? If you guys could maybe throw in the chat like a star ranking out of 5, just put a number, and then I can kind of get a good idea for what everybody was thinking about this one overall. Throw in a 1 to 5 rating, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Let's see what you guys think. They're coming in. They're coming in right about where I thought they would. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Keep them coming. A lot of 2s. A couple 2s, actually. Also, guys, for those of us who have been here for a minute, what a weird transition from East of Eden to The Last House on Needless Street. That was a pretty jarring, like, one after the other, and probably didn't help this book's case for a lot of us, I would imagine, because for me, I was still in like blown away mode from reading one of the best books of all time that I've ever read, anyways. To this, which I'm not saying I didn't enjoy this. I actually did enjoy this. I'm not trying to act like I didn't like this, but not a fair spot for this to be in, coming right from it. William 2.873. Thank you, William. Thank you, William. Man, I'm going to add that up in my brain right now because I'm super smart. Okay, ready? It's in. Yeah, it's looking like 3 is about the norm. 2.53. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Kind of surprised. There was a lot of hype for this one. People were like, a lot of people that I see on the internet are like, the few times that I talked about this on like TikTok or Instagram, there were a few comments like, "You're not giving Needless Street the praise it deserves," and I'm like, "Yes, I am." Just kidding, but yeah. Nick says I struggled with East of Eden, so this was kind of a relief for me. Yeah, fair enough, dude. That was DID, that it was DID, or that the sister died the way she did. Is that, sorry, Relentless One, is that in response to what I was saying? What I was saying is that like D was totally non-existent person, like just a personality that that Ted had created, and that her death was maybe just that personality in his mind disappearing and ending, basically. If that's what you're asking. We got Amy and the guys. I think the jump from Needless Street to 1122 63 is less jarring. I would agree. It's man. So I'm happy to keep talking about Needless Street. Did you guys have any questions you wanted to throw in here while we're on the Needless Street train? I don't want to like move along too fast in case people are hoping to talk about it for longer. Happy to, if anybody has any Needless Street points or little tidbits they wanted to throw out, please do. Security, can you let me in here, bud? I'm not looking for trouble. I'm looking for love. Is that it? Jordan Duke says, obviously it's subjective, but Book Talk goes so hard for certain things to where it starts to feel like stand-em. I don't know what stand-em is, but I think I could probably have a guess. And I would kind of agree. I feel like I've hit a sweet spot on Book Talk though, where at least the stuff that I'm seeing on there, like I do get like the things where it's like a little bit repetitive, but overall I feel like the people that I follow, I guess, or that are being fed to me, I find pretty interesting. There's some variance in there, but when I first started on Book Talk and like didn't really know what I was doing, yes, it was like super, like everything I was seeing was like, if you don't read ACOTAR, you're going to prison, so it's a thing. And so I read ACOTAR because I didn't want to go to prison. Ali, can someone explain how his different personalities come out? Like when Lauren is out, does Ted not use his legs? And when Olivia is out, he's walking on all four legs. Ali, that's a great question, and I don't know if I really have an answer. That was one kind of do you call it like a red herring or like kind of clue towards the beginning, is that when Lauren is there, Olivia's not there, and when Olivia's there, Lauren's not there. So it's like there are some little things where it's like, what is actually happening here? But as far as to what like Ted's actually doing when he's in that personality, I'm not quite sure, honestly. I'm not quite sure. Again, kind of one of those books where it's like you could probably just say something and I'll be like, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, Bridget McGowan. Threads is pretty good. Threads is underrated. Threads is underrated if you're not on Threads. I think it's actually pretty dope. Needless missed the mark for me, but I'm so glad I read it. The ending was so light speed to me and just left me spinning. Yeah. Yeah, I read a couple books like that I felt like that. Like I kind of felt Between Two Fires, the ending was little bit like, whoa. So I needed to slow down a little bit. Well, that's another thing, Josie. Was the Bugman real? Was he, or sorry, that's yeah, same thing. Psychiatrist real? Again, I don't know. You could make an argument that he wasn't. I think, right? I think he probably was, but I think you can make a very strong argument that he was not. I think you could. Someone asked up here, is there a general idea for what the theme of December's book is going to be? Now, I am trying to think of what it's going to be. It's definitely going to be winter themed because I mean it's a little on the nose. You know, we're getting into December. Like, oh, let's do Christmas reads. Not going to be like that, but it's going to be books themed around winter. So what that's going to mean is like I mentioned Small Things Like These, and I was going to put that one in there because I feel like that is a really good December read, but it's so short. It's like you can finish that book in like an hour and a half. So I'm going to be reading that one separately. And I can happily create a separate chat for that if our other people want to also read Small Things Like These. It's a quick one. Winds of Winter. Yeah, we're reading. Surprise, guys! I was talking to the guy, George R.R. Martin, whose name I remember all the time. And he called me the other day. He was like, Nick, I know you haven't read any of the Game of Thrones books, but interested to know whether you want me to send your book club The Winds of Winter, because I'm done. Is that the new one that he hasn't finished? I might not even be making sense. I have no idea. Okay. The Shining is going to be one. Yeah, The Shining will be on there. But someone said cozy reads too. That was the other thing. I was at the bookstore the other day looking at the romantic winter section, and I was like, I kind of just want to read like Kiss Me by Christmas or The Bells of My Holly. You know, I want Jolly Saint Trick. I don't know. Just something. Oh, The Shining. You know what? Actually, scratch that because we're doing Stephen King for November. I'm gonna keep it light on the SK, so probably no SK options for December, just for the sake of keeping it healthy, keeping the variants in there. So I actually don't think The Shining will be in there, which is kind of too bad because that is maybe the most wintry book. You know what I mean? That's a winter. I'd also love to have books in there that I haven't. Kiss Me by Christmas. I swear that's a real book. I think I saw it and I was like, you know what, Lindsay, I want this. Kiss Me by Christmas book. It is by Jenny Bayless. This is a person who people like. Believe it or not. Not believe it or not. I'm not saying like, can you believe it? But yeah. Kiss Me by Christmas. Here, I'll pull it up here so you can see the cover so that you can buy it. Kiss me by Christmas or else I'll be upset. Kiss Me by Christmas book. Check it out. Jenny Bayless, one of the best to ever do it. Cover's not loading because my life is weird. Okay, hold on. Here it is. Kiss Me by Christmas. Aw. Yay. Yeah. Maybe we'll just, you know what? Maybe I'll just like annoy the hell out of all you guys. It'll be like, no poll. We're reading Kiss Me by Christmas. Don't worry about it. It won. I'm not going to do that. Eating her Christmas cookies. Josie said, I was a part of a book club at my cycling studio, and they loved smut. They chose a book called Eating Her Christmas Cookies. I want to look that up. Hold on. Eating Her Christmas Cookies. I hope this has a cover, and this isn't just like a Kindle thing. Christmas cookies. That's so funny. It's real. Eating Her Christmas Cookies by Alina Jacobs. Come on. I'm picking that one up too. Guess what? You're welcome, Lindsay. Okay, moving on. Yeah, Kiss Me by Christmas, Eating Her Cookies, all the things. I'm gonna get. I'm gonna go into all the Christmas books because I don't care. I'm getting hot. Woohoo! Spicy up here. All this. There's no bed, just a fun throw in front of her fireplace. Here we go. It's happening. Smut talk. Is that what or is it spice talk? What's the So, moving on, guys. Did you guys want to keep talking about Needless Street, or do you think we kind of killed that one? Usually this is what happens. The first 30 minutes or so we'll spend on the book, and then we move on to just nonsense. But yeah, not my favorite, but absolutely not the worst by any stretch. I'm excited very, very excited to be in 11/22/63 mode. Ta-da. So who started? Where are you guys? Not that we're doing this now. Special update. If you're not on the Patreon, there will be a live next Thursday, right? Is that the 14th? I have it in my calendar. One sec, I'll pull it up. Yeah, 14th. November 14th, there's going to be a 11/22/63 midway live, which I've never done before, but we're going to do it this time because it's a long book, and why the heck not? I love talking about this one. So whatever. So we're gonna. I'm encouraging people to try and get to part 3 for 11/22/63 by next Thursday. It's called Living in the Past. That'll be kind of a good chunk to kind of go over this first 230 pages before this all happens. So I'm excited to get into that with you next Thursday. Giving you got one more week to get to page 230. Otherwise, probably don't join the live because there's going to be spoilers up to that point, and I don't want to wreck anything. So, yeah. Yay. I can't wait. I can't friggin' wait. 30% through Jordan Duke. Are you drummer, Jordan? I can't remember. Where's Jordan Duke? Another Jordan. Yeah, drummer Jordan. Are you Jordan Duke on Instagram? When I'm talking to you, I always just look at your black and white photo and I'm like, oh, it's Jordan. And I never read anything. Oh yeah, Jordan Duke. Sorry. Okay. My copy of 11/22/63 still has my bookmark from the first time I tried to read it several years ago. Whereabouts is it, out of curiosity? Nick says, I just finished last night. I'm emotional. Nick, wow, good for you. November 7th. Well done. Kind of a somewhat appropriate read for given the month and everything, you know what I mean? I'm up here in Canada, but kind of an interesting pick just by happenstance, given stuff. Nick, oh man, I'm so glad. I'm gonna take that as you really enjoyed it. Do you consider Tiny P Town says, can you Tiny P Town? Do you consider yourself a fast reader? I would say medium fast. I don't think I'm fast because I know fast readers and I'm like, I don't know how they do it. I'm not at that level. But I would say medium fast. It depends on the book too, you know, if I'm like some books I read faster than others. If I'm kind of like like kind of medium into it, I'm going to be a lot slower. But if I'm like fully hooked in, I'm like, Josie, I finished 11/22/63 back in June or July. I loved it. My partner is reading it this month, though. When I told him it was our monthly pick, Josie sick. Let the people know. Let the people know. All right. Pam Carey, Kelly W. Yes, the Snow Child is on my TBR. Jordan. Jordan. I am also Jordan. Hi, Jordan. Hi, Jordan. Kind of a random observation, but I love how King almost always has his characters call one another honey as a term of endearment. So cute. Yeah, I would imagine he calls his wife honey every day. I think I might do that too when I write because I say babe a lot. Babe. I don't think a lot of people do that. 5 stars. Bridget got to page 50 10 years ago. Also, his nephew will soon be running the Department of Health here in America. Oh, right. Oh, shoot. Isn't that crazy? What's that guy's name? You'll have to remind me. He's the guy with the voice, right? He's got like the voice. I can't remember. Do you have any? Do you have a reading routine or a setup? I like to just be. My favorite place to read, and unfortunately, it's coming to an end, is our front porch. I love reading on our front porch. It's a big porch. I got a big chair out there, and there's something to kind of just about having ambient noise that I feel like weirdly helps me zone into a book. When it's completely silent, I actually have a really hard time focusing. Like I need something happening, like a fan or something. So my favorite place to read is the porch, especially on a nice day. It is getting cold up here, so it's gonna be coming to an end shortly. But I've been playing around with using audioscapes or whatever you call it. I'm not smart. Um, but like I was reading The Terror. I was reading these like I was listening to these like winter soundscapes of just like blowing ice, and I feel like it really added to the read in a really positive way. um but as for like a reading routine, I like to read at night. I am lucky enough in that my job, I'm home a lot during the week, Monday to Friday, so I do have some time during the day oftentimes to read, which is helpful. But doesn't always happen. The most frequent is at night, just before bed. Go get in there early or stay up late and read. How many books do you average a month? I've started reading more seriously this year, and I keep an average of 4 to 5 if I'm lucky. 6 if it's short. You're right about where I am. I would say like 4, 5, 6 books a month is amazing. That's about what I try to do for sure. Depends on the length, right? Sometimes like the month I read The Stand, it was like, yeah, it's not happening. Jesse, do you guys make yearly book goals, like X number of books per year, or do you just let the chips fall where they may? Josie, I do make a goal. My goal this year was 50, which is really good for me. I was like, yeah, really want to read. I really just want to be able to say I read 50 books this year. And I know, like, compared to a lot of other book people that read like 100, 200, it's like not the most impressive, but I feel like 50 is crazy. But I'm almost there. So I changed it to 65. So this year, hoping to read 65. I don't know that it helps setting a goal, but it is kind of nice just to see the progress throughout the year. I feel like it's just more of a nice thing. um, do you guys? Oh yeah, I just read that. Nick, getting some outside time while reading is the best. I agree. Yeah, it's my favorite place to read is outside when there's some noise. Um, you love reading outside in the winter. I will maybe have to give that a go this winter. It gets cold here, and I'm sensitive. Um, Mandy, I always make a goal. I also have a Goodreads friend who I'm in constant silent competition with. Yeah, my wife Lindsay reads she used to read like 150 books a year. She was one of those people. I don't know how she does it. She's just always reading, like literally always reading. Like she's like eating dinner with like her Kindle, just like like that's how you have to be, I guess, if you want to read 150 books. But she's yeah. 20 a year is amazing. Anything a year is amazing. You know, if you that's more than a book a month, which is crazy town. You tell that to like the majority of human beings, they'll be like, "How do you read 20 books a year? That's not possible." I need to finish a book by like 10 tomorrow morning to return it to the library. You know, it's funny. Our city got hacked, so like the main like whatever got hacked a year ago, and they haven't been able to bring it back online. So for about a year now, they haven't been able to tell who has books and if they're returned or not. But you can still take out books. So so I've got a couple library books that I've had for longer than I should have, and I know it's not good, but you know, there's no penalties right now, so I'm just kind of risking it for the biscuit. And they will go back, but no consequences. Come to Hamilton. Take as many books as you want. They're never going to know. 6 to 8 a month. That's crazy good. 26 so far this year. Unreal. A snail could read faster than me. That's okay. That's okay. Some snails are actually pretty quick. Brandy says, do y'all count audiobooks in your counts? I've been wondering. Totally. I would. I think audiobooks, I'm one of those people that considers audiobooks reading just as much as reading. You know, you're taking in all the same information, just in a different format. So personally, I would. Amy and the guys, I read fast. I have to limit myself to 2 books a week. That's crazy town. So that's like 8 a month. Ethan, yeah, my mom reads a book a day, provided they are not huge. There's a book talker that I saw recently that introduces every one of her videos by saying, I can't remember what her name is, but this is my name, and I read a book a day to tell you what's good and not good, or something like that. She reads a book a day, evidently. A book a day. That's crazy. I'm so jealous. Audiobooks count, totally. I read 110 books in 2020, and I've been riding that high ever since. That's amazing. I would love to hit that. The hundred note would be life changing. If I can ever do this full time, I would hope to hit 100. How sick would that be? The sickest. I've never tried an audiobook. Give it a go. They're fun. Sometimes what I like to do is if you've ever heard of Libby, you can get it's like the library for whatever, and you can get audiobooks on there for free if they're available. And sometimes if a book I'm reading has the audiobook on there for free, what I have a good time doing is I'll read a few chapters, and then if I have to go do something like a task, I'll pop it in for a chapter to kind of keep it going. And it's I think you call that like tandem reading. I've done it a handful of times, but it's always been pretty enjoyable. Definitely recommend. Jordan Duke, has the tiny library vandalism stopped? The tiny library vandalism has stopped. Outside of our 6-year-old who was playing outside yesterday and was playing with the door, and then the door snapped off. So now it's missing a door and completely empty and looks awful. So, but that will be fixed. It's all the damage is internal so far. What's up, Adrian? I get too distracted listening to audiobooks. Not a single thing gets registered. Ali, that's it depends on situationally for me. If I'm doing something mindless like cleaning up the kitchen or vacuuming or like doing cleaning is the big one for me. If I'm cleaning, I'm sucking in that story more than I would be if I was actually physically reading it. Outside of that, I would agree. It's very hard for me to focus. I have to be doing something mindless like cleaning. If I'm like just sitting, I can't do it. I can't take in anything. If I'm like trying to do something where I literally have to put any thought into what I'm doing, it's gone. So that's another thing. If you're going to do the audiobook thing, try to do something as mindless as possible. I know that's not the case for everybody, but definitely the case for me. When my 3rd child was born, I relied heavily on audiobooks because my hands were always holding a kid. That's awesome. I listened to the audiobook of Lisa Marie's memoir while following along. Such an amazing experience. I really want to check out that audiobook because when I posted that I had read it, a lot of people were saying that the audiobook was fantastic. This book is great, by the way, guys. Definitely, if you got the time, if you got 3.5 hours, I would say, maybe 4. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I really, really liked it. Where am I? Monica Galvin. Kiko, I watched a YouTube short of a woman who attempted to read it in 24 hours. It seems treacherous. Read what? Read it. Read it in 24 hours? Like it? That's crazy. Short books you recommend. Claire Keegan books are awesome. Steinbeck's got a couple short ones that are incredible. Maybe check out The Pearl. I just read that and it was really good. Nick G. I used to listen to audiobooks when putting my third kid to sleep. He didn't care about the book, so I got through the whole Dark Tower series that way. That's awesome. Very cool. Amy and the guys, my brain wanders with audiobooks. Josie, Mandy, I'll have to check it out. Favorite nonfiction book so far? Okay, help me. Is a memoir a nonfiction book or is it a memoir? I don't know. Is that the same? I don't know. I'm. Let me think here. These I really liked. Oh my gosh, this was really good. I'm realizing I'm not going to be able to pick a favorite. So this book here. So who asked me favorite nonfiction? Stagger. Ellie Wiesel's Night. This is very emotional. Very. Someone asked for short books too. This is quite short as well. I believe it is under 200. Yeah, it's 120 pages. Be ready for some rewiring of your brain because holy crap, that was something else. I really enjoyed this Girl Interrupted by Susanna Kaysen. I thought this was really, really fantastic. Kind of hit home a little bit for me. My mom, I won't get into it, but it's love my mom, love this book. This book here, I'm not going to say the title just because of the title, but wow, also insanely insanely punchy. In that the way that the story is delivered, and I didn't know anything about this, and it is the most tragic, like heart-wrenching, how in the world did this happen sort of book. That it's not an easy read. This is one. This is a hard one to recommend to just anyone because it is it's a lot. It's a lot. Some of the things that are described in this book are things that I will never forget for the rest of my life. They are that horrible. So if you feel like that is going to be too much for you, then probably avoid it. But in saying that, I also feel like it's a book that's important enough that you should try to read it if you can. But be forewarned, it's a lot. So those are some nonfictions that I really, really thought were really good. Sorry, I probably missed like a shitload of comments here. Jordan, A Short Stay in Hell is short and awesome. I keep hearing about that one. I gotta grab that, Jordan. All memoir is nonfiction, but not all nonfiction is memoir. Love it. John Krakauer, also someone that I love. I've read Into the Wild and wait, just Into the Wild? What else did I? No, and Under the Banner of Heaven, he did too, right? Under the Banner of Heaven is another one. That one's more of like a mind warp. It's like, what? How is this like how is this real? I think they made a TV show for that too, but good read. Memoir definitely counts as nonfiction in my opinion. I pretty much categorize all books as either fiction or nonfiction. Yeah, that's okay. Thank you. That'll help me out for the future. Have you read Heat 2 yet? I see it on your shelf and have wanted to read it for a while now. I've not checked out Heat 2 yet. Where do you see it? Where is it? I'll grab it. I'm trying to look myself here. Heat 2, where are you? It is one of my favorite movies. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, Heat 2 rules. I mean, Heat rules. I really, that's the only reason I picked up Heat 2. I just thought it was really cool that Michael Mann and Meg Gardner wrote this together. And apparently it is really good. I've talked to some people who have read it and they're like, yeah, if you love Heat, you're going to friggin' love this book. So, excited to check it out. It's been on the shelf for a minute, but we'll hopefully get to that eventually. Ellie Wiesel is so good. Bridget said, I just finished Kelly Bishop's memoir and it was really amazing. What is Kelly Bishop's memoir? I'll have to check that out. Favorite indie author book. That is a non-traditionally published book. I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that. I'm not sure. It's a great question, though. The Bully Pulpit, Kelly Bishop, The Third Gilmore Girl? What? Oh, is this a Gilmore Girls thing? Night was so good. It is really so good. Anyone else have to read Night in high school and change them on a cellular level? That's how I felt when I finished it. I was like, yeah, the rewirings have happened. Like, holy man. So beautifully written, too. The way that Ellie wrote that is just like, man. Holy man. Planning on reading that this month. Adrian says, oh, that's an answer. Where am I? Stagger. Thank you. I'm currently reading the Anthropocene reviewed. I can't say words by John Green, and it's been incredibly good. I have that somewhere. Give me one sec. I'll find it. I have too many books. Okay, I do have that somewhere. Trust me. If you want to see a book here, if you see a book you want me to pull out, just let me know. I'll pull it out. Someday I'm gonna do. Oh shoot, I lost my spot. Sorry, guys. I read Nanking. It was tough. It is one of the toughest books I've ever had to read, for sure. Any new releases you're looking forward to? I don't really know. Are there any that you guys are looking forward to? I actually the other day was going to look up some of the some of the final releases coming out for this year to kind of get hyped for the rest of November and December, but I never ended up doing it, so I don't actually know off the top of my head. I should check that out. The new the TV show with Andrew Garfield was so good. I missed what you guys are talking about. My bad. Rainey says, been watching your vids for a while since mid 2023. Love your personality. I finally got back into reading and picked up A Clash of Kings. Having fun reading again. Right on. That's awesome. And the best. Josie, my partner, keeps telling me to read the Dresden Files. What are y'all's thoughts? So I'm going to try and fly through these a little bit because I'm getting lost. The Pearl by John Steinbeck. Yeah, it's really, really good. Do I have that handy? I do. It's right here, actually. There you go. The Pearl. But if I could just give this to you through the screen, I would. That'd be cool. But here it is. Really short. Looking at 90 pages even. 90 pages even. Little deceiving because it's there's a few words per page. It took me about 2 hours to read. I think hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. It was great. I loved it. Night, dawn, day. What? Oh, there's more? That's it. I didn't know that. If that's what you're saying, that's cool. No, I don't believe there's a Heat 1 book. The book is a sequel to the movie, which is so cool, right? I that's what I'm told, anyways. Any more Cormac McCarthy reads on the horizon? All the Pretty Horses will be read eventually, sometime over the winter break. And I really do want to try Blood Meridian. Blood Meridian is a book I tried to pick up 5-6 years ago when I wasn't reading and was just like, yeah, this sounds cool. And I got 30-40 pages in and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. And then I just gave up on reading right then and there. But now that I've got some reading under my belt, I'd love to give it another try, but I know it's a big challenge. So Blood Meridian is one that I would love to get to somewhat soon, for sure. This just popped into my head. So I haven't worked out the deets, but what if we do a patron Secret Santa where we are assigned a rando in the group and we choose a book for them to read? Oh. Jordan. I love that idea. You have so much faith in me, and I love that about you. Ethan Pope says, what is your take on The Gunslinger, usually a low-rated book of the DT series? I don't want to turn me away from Dark Tower. So yeah, the Gunslinger is a pretty confusing fever dream sort of feel of a book. So by the end of it, I was like, I don't even fully know what happened here. But the good news is that it's the short. It's really short. It's like 200 pages. So you can fly through it pretty quickly and then move right on to the drawing of the three. I'm losing my voice, sorry. And then you'll be in love and start loving the Dark Tower series. Don't let you might end up loving the Gunslinger. I know I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this because this is crazy, but try to at least get through book 2 before you make a decision, because drawing of the three is so good. So good. Recently finished The Fisherman based on your vid. Incredible. Yeah, The Fisherman is so great. Would love to give that a reread soon, actually. When we talk about book recs, my kids and I refer to you by first name. That's sweet. Aw. Where am I? Read The Passenger. Oh, you know what? The Passenger. Did I just get that? I think I have that now somewhere. I do. Yeah. Oh, no, I don't. No, I thought it was this one. I have The Crossing. This is another one, another Cormac I'll get to at some point. I want to get through his whole thing because his his words that he does on paper are so good. It'd be great to experience them all. I think The Passenger is the only one I don't. Oh, The Passenger is the new one, right? Yeah, The Passenger is the new one. No, I don't even have that one. I love the Secret Santa idea. I love the Secret Santa idea too. I just don't feasibly know how I'm going to get potentially 700 people to participate and make it happen. But I do love that idea. I'm just scared about the logistics of it. I'll think about it. I'm afraid. Also, I don't know how I'm going to assign that many people. Like, what am I going to? I don't know what to do. Yeah, there's 700 people in there right now, which is crazy. 750 or something. If you have thoughts, let me know. I'm not saying no. I just don't know how I would theoretically do that. Those that want to opt in, I do like that idea, but I do like bringing people in for the excitement of a shared book that we all talk about. And I'm not sure how we would go about, like, I guess I'm not sure if it would end up just feeling like the book review chat that's already in there, where people just share what they thought about the book that they read, as opposed to kind of like a big like community breakdown, shakedown of one book. I don't know. I gotta think on this. Whoever I get for Secret Santa is getting a Murakami book, so I have someone to fangirl with. Which one, out of curiosity? My uncle's favorite book is Clara and the Sun, I think it's called. Is that Murakami? I might be wrong. Yeah, No Country for Old Men is unreal. I love that one. One of my favorite movies, and then became one of my favorite books. It is so fantastic. Popular books I've read that I think are overhyped. That I think are overhyped. Hmm. I don't know. Cersei? Cersei, that's again, that's one of those books where it's like, for a moment in time, it was all I was seeing on the internet. Cersei, Cersei, Cersei is God. And so that might have contributed to my like kind of like, oh my gosh, with this book. But yeah, I had a hard time with it. Didn't really like it. Jackie, someone agrees with you. Jackie? How far up is Jackie? Oh dear. Oh, I don't know what happened. Magnolia Parks was highly hyped on my booktop, and I could not stand it. I've never even heard of that. I've never heard of Cersei until this book club. Really, man, it's all I was seeing for like a solid year and a half. I couldn't even get through Fourth Wing. I couldn't either. Reading Blood Meridian was like my worst dental nightmare torture. Okay. Oh, Josie said something. Josie. Oh, for me, it's tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Nobody come for me. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I liked it, but that is a very heavily talked about book. It's kind of one of those like there. I feel like books that I really enjoyed, I could throw out as being totally overhyped because like even the Akatar series, I thought they were actually pretty enjoyable for what they were, but they're definitely like books. Those books get a lot of like they have their own like section at the airport. I was seeing just the act like they have an Akatar shelf at airports, so you can grab. You know, I don't see a Stoner shelf at airports. I don't see an East of Eden shelf. I don't see any of that. I see Akatar shelves. So for that reason alone, I can say it's overhyped, even though I did actually kind of enjoy it and thought it was fun. Andromeda Strain let me down a bit. Interesting. Is that a Michael Crichton? Be Red? Is that Michael Crichton? Needless Street. Yeah. Oh, good answer maybe for the amount of like intense love and hype that Needless Street was getting. I would say probably overhyped for me. I again did like it, but maybe was expecting to have my life changed a little more. Uh so yeah, maybe I'll throw that book in there. Watch who you say that to though. This ginger tea is cold. Oh, Incidents Around the House? Really? Actually, just I think it's there. I don't know why it's in the Stephen King section, but it's there. I just picked that up. Is that one not that great? I heard it was pretty scary, like actually kind of scary. Um, don't have a plan to get to that anytime too soon, but I'm a Cersei outlier. Really liked it, but then I read Song of Achilles and I get it now. Maybe that was my problem too. I read Song of Achilles first and I loved Song of Achilles. That was so good. I loved it so much. Lessons in Chemistry. I tried to read it 3 times and DNF, and it's popular. This is, I think there's a show on that one too, right? Lessons in Chemistry. Read some Joe Abercrombie. I do plan to. Yeah, kind of just I've not really been in like fantasy mood a lot lately. I started reading a lot of fantasy, and I know it's well as Joe before I go on, Joe Abercrombie's kind of fantasy-ish, right? I've just been having a hard time getting into fantasy lately. But I'm gonna reset and get into it. I think maybe just because of the time of year. Once it hits winter and I can really like shut my brain off a bit more, I'm sure I'm gonna have a better time with fantasy. Grimdark, yeah. The Measure and Sharkheart were both so overhyped for me. Guys, I don't even know what a lot of these books you're saying are. Which is great. Colleen Hoover and Frida McFadden are way overhyped. Yeah. What's that Colleen Hoover book that's supposed to be good? Verity? I have no idea. What are your thoughts on Dracula if you got to it yet, and what got me. Sorry. What are your thoughts on Dracula? If you got to it yet, it's what got me back into reading, and I really enjoyed it. I haven't read Dracula yet, so I can't say. But I'm psyched that got you back into reading. That's really cool that a book that old kind of got you back in there. That's sick, I think. Any thoughts on We Used to Live in Here? We used to live here? I'm not sure. You guys tell me. You're the book talkers now. I feel like I'm losing my vision. No, I haven't started The Goldfinch yet. I will, though. Gosh, there's so many friggin' books I need to read. This is it's kind of stressing me out just sitting here looking at the shelves behind me. I'm like, wow, I got to read half of those. Actually, Jordan, was it Jordan that told me about Sellout? Jordan, did you tell me about Sellout? I think Jordan Duke, who's in here, correct me if I'm wrong, but told me about Sellout, and I got it like right away by Dan Ozzie. We are both like fans of this type of music. And what's cool is this is kind of, so right here, the major label Feeding Frenzy that swept punk, emo, and hardcore from 1994 to 2007. And each band here has like their own chapter, which I really like. So if you just want to like read about a certain band, I love the Distillers and I love Coral Fang. So, you know, I could just jump in there. Some great photos in here. The Donnas are in here. I actually think it says on the back. Green Day, Jawbreaker, Jimmy Eat World, Blink, At the Drive-In, Thursday, My Chem, Rise Against Me. This is going to be a fun one to just kind of pick up and pick a band and read it. So I had that back there. That's going to be one of those, like, maybe you leave it somewhere convenient so that I can just kind of grab it when I need to. This actually might live beside my my toilet. You know, I'll have it read by Sunday. I have bowel issues. Okay. I hated Secret History. I love Secret History. I ordered a bunch of Toni Morrison books today. Carly, you're in for a treat. Those are some of the most poetic, lyrical, beautiful books, shocking books that I've ever read. God, I love Toni Morrison. I love her. I love her so much. I can't wait to read more. My next Toni Morrison is going to be Song of Solomon. Sorry if you guys can't hear me when I'm turned away. Yeah, Song of Solomon is going to be the next one for me. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, I have IBS. The Distillers. Wasn't the lead singer married to the lead singer of Social Distortion? Is the lead singer of Social Distortion also the lead singer of oh my gosh, I'm so bad with names. You Can Go With the Flow. Oh, it's gonna bother me. Yeah, I think they're having like if it's who I'm thinking of, they're having a bit of a custody issue or something. I'm not really sure. Follow her on Instagram, and she's having a hard time right now. My Friends is an amazing read. Oh yeah, Relentless One. I have My Friends. I really can't wait to check that one out. Actually, have heard that from quite a few people. It was shortlisted or long-listed for the Booker Prize. A lot of people thought it was completely robbed of being shortlisted, but yeah, I'm going to be checking that one out for certain. Have you read Revival? Not read Revival yet. I held off in case it ended up winning for the Stephen King month for November. So I will be picking that up just myself soon, but I haven't done it yet. I read Beloved in high school, and I think about it all the time, I'm going to assume. I still think about what you said. I still think about it. I thought you said I read Beloved in high school, and I think about it. I missed the still. Hannah Graves, wait, did your wife read ACOTAR? Yeah, she did. Yep. Carly, yay, I can't wait. She's been on my list forever. Toni Morrison, yes. Yeah. Oh, you're going to have a good time. One of those books where you're going to have to do a few, like, and then your partner's going to be like, are you all right? You'd be like, yeah. Read this last sentence. And then she's going to be like, whoa. She was married to Tim Armstrong from Rancid. Yeah. Queens of the Stone Age. Yeah. Thanks, Soap. Yeah. That guy. Manga. No, I've never read manga. And if I'm completely honest, don't have like the biggest urge to read manga, but I'd love for someone to just recommend me one. Maybe like a shorter one, a more digestible one, because I'd love to see what's up, you know? Mike Ness. Oh, Mike Ness, right. Sellout is by Dan Ozzie. I'll hold it up here for a second if you want to check it out. Great cover. I feel like I'm catching the Stephen King bug with 11/22/63. I feel like I'm happy to hear that because it's the best book of all time. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can figure something out here. Nope. Speaking of Dracula, look at that cool cover. Sick, eh? There we go. We can go. Losers Month. Maybe one month we could do a Losers Month where we all vote on the previously outvoted books. That's a great idea, Brandy. I actually really love that because there have been some books that have been so close, you know, that so many people wanted to read and probably still want to read, the people who didn't vote for it. But yeah, that's a great idea. I love that, actually. Sick. Queens of the Stone Age is what I was trying to think of. Yeah. I've heard that Uzumaki is a great manga. I've only watched a couple of episodes of anime, but apparently the manga is incredible. Okay. Akira. Akira might be the one for me. I hear great things about that. I'm just going to put books up here that I think are great. You should check out. Sellout, I've not read, but Jordan Duke thinks it's sick, and I think he's sick. Jordan Duke's amazing. Good dude. Okay. Any other books I have back here I could probably like throw out as a quick recommendation? Yeah, I don't know. I'm too tired. Yeah. Yeah. Akira's super philosophical too. I think you'd love it. All right, sweet. Yeah, it seems like people kind of got to bounce here. We've been rolling for an hour and a half. That is a good chunk of time. My voice is going. You can recommend Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby is so good. I really like that one a lot, actually. Just a like classic feeling, great little spooky book. That was very digestible, very just a fun read. You know, been getting a few classics in. Watch Psycho for the first time, like by Alfred Hitchcock. I've seen virtually every other Alfred Hitchcock movie that's ever existed. You know, like I love Rope, I love Vertigo, I love The Birds, I love Rear Window, but I just never seen Psycho, and finally watched it this Halloween, and it was so good. It was so good. The hype did not get to it. I loved it. Empire of Pain is gonna happen. I know I've said it. I've said it once. I've said it a million times. Flipping through it does kind of freak me out. I'm like, this book is going to take me 100 hours to finish, and I don't know if I have the time for it right now. But as soon as I feel like I can handle it, I'm going to get in there and get upset. Yeah, can't wait to get upset, honestly. How are you guys doing? What time is it where you are? Where are you in the world? Are you all pretty much where I am? Billy Summers. Yeah, I'm going to get Billy Summers in eventually. I need to. I have it. Montreal. Bonjour. Korea. Holy shit. Vancouver. Whoa. Yeah, Rope is so good. Rope is underrated. Alberta, Baltimore, Peru, Tennessee, California, Vancouver again, West Palm Beach, Florida, Humboldt County, California. It's 6:20 here in LA. Maine. Oh, you must be a huge Stephen King fan. if it's the right Maine. Portland, Maine? Wait, what am I saying? No, there's only one Maine. Never mind. California, Michigan, Virginia, Missouri, Massachusetts, I can never say that. Kentucky, Virginia, Colorado, South Carolina, Saskatchewan, Seattle, Minnesota, North Virginia, I think that is. Los Angeles, Florida, Salt Lake City. That's what it is. There's 2 Portlands. That's sorry. That Maine, Toronto. Trudy. What's up, Trudy? Toronto. Hawaii. No way. So cool. Peru, Hawaii. Isn't that wild? All just hanging out here, talking about books. Aw. Cute. So speaking of Portland, actually, because it was mentioned, still kind of in the works here, but we are planning on doing something somewhat psychological. We are going to, we're on the, sorry. I got to clear my throat. I'm losing my voice. We are, we being my wife and my 2 kids, we are going to drive from where we are. We're on the East Coast, like very far from the West Coast. Couldn't be farther. We're going to drive through America. We're going to go down through Detroit and drive through America all the way to Oregon, to the West Coast. Going to dip our feet in the ocean again, visit Powell's in Portland. We're going to do all the stuff, but we're going to make it like a big sort of adventure. It's something I've always wanted to do. Always wanted to just drive across America. I know it's kind of, I'm fully aware it's going to be like a nightmare at times, and it's going to be frustrating at times, and it's going to be like a lot, but just something I've always wanted to do. I love the idea of it. I feel like it's going to be like such a sick memory, sort of thing. So let me know if you're on the route, pop in, give you a book. I don't know. I'm excited. I've been to Powell's before. Like I've been to Portland, Oregon before. But unfortunately it was about 5 years ago when I didn't read. So it was kind of lost on me. I still loved it. I was like, wow, this is a really crazy store. But I can't even imagine how much I would love it now. I feel like it would just be like, oh. So yeah, that's kind of the plan right now. Fan meetup in Portland, I'd love to. I would absolutely love to. Yeah, I could do a meetup in Portland. I've never done a meetup before, but I'd love to. Yeah, let's do it. I can do meetups along the way. We'll do Detroit. We'll do Des Moines. Is Des Moines a place? Des Moines? I feel like I saw that on the map when I was mapping this out. Des Moines. For those Americans in here, is Des Moines a good place to stop? Or is it like, why would I go there? Let me know. And by stop, I mean grab a hotel and then leave the next day. Hit up the Badlands on your way. A good way to bridge the middle of America, which can be a little boring. Yeah, I got to figure all that out. I want to make it as least like unboring as possible, because I know there's going to be, City and Color fan. I'm a big Alexis on Fire fan. I have a heart skull tattooed on my wrist here, as you can like there it is. Oh, there we go. Ta-da. There are better places to go, but it's fine to stop for a night. Yeah. If you guys are in the Patreon, which I think a lot of you are, I might make a little thread on this so you guys that actually know about these areas and locations can maybe like throw me some tips or some tidbits and things to do and stuff like that. That would be so helpful and cool. Why would I go there? Why would I go there? It's on the way. It's on the way is the thing. Second vote for Badlands. Okay, I'll check out Badlands for sure. Is that like the Red Earth sort of stuff? I'm down. I don't care. The plan is to take a good chunk of time off to do this so that if we do kind of get into a situation where it's like this, well, one, A, is this going to take a lot longer than we expected? Or B, do we love a place and want to stay there for longer? That we can just do it. So we don't take a lot of trips, but we're gonna make it a big one. Badlands. I gotta check it out. Where's the Badlands? Sure, I shouldn't visit the Goodlands. Whoa, cool. Oh, it's in Canada? Wait. No, it's not. Is it? South Dakota. Oh my God, this is crazy looking. Holy man. Whoa. So vast. Cool. Sunday. East Coast? No, not really, because we're gonna leave from where we are in Hamilton, and I'd love to. I'd love to get out to the East Coast, but it's just gonna be too much. So leaving from like kind of Buffalo area, basically, and yeah, I think I do. Excuse you. Yeah, they can handle long drives. They'll be like basically 9 and 7 by the time we go. So, it's not like ideal, but also they can very, very well entertain themselves. So that's why I feel like it's finally doable. Starting the trip from where I live, which is going to be kind of, I'm in Hamilton, but for Americans, it's kind of like Buffalo, like 45 minutes from Buffalo. So Buffalo to Cannon Beach, Oregon, Gonna be sweet. Can't wait. Gonna try and like the dream too is to find some like maybe some cool bookstores along the route too to hit. So just hit like the most random bookstores, uh, in remote locations, I'm sure in some situations along the way, and just kind of make like a little journal of this whole thing. I'm looking forward to it. Won't be for a few more months, but yeah, can't wait. Oh, when am I playing? Oh, my bad. Sorry. When? It's going to be sometime in March. Lindsay, my wife, is a yarn dyer, and she got asked. Actually, I shouldn't say anything. I can't say anything. Sorry, but yeah, there's she's got something going on with yarn. Also, have to shout out all the Southern Utah national parks, but that might be a bit far for you. We are going through Utah, though. On the map that I was looking at, I do believe we're going right through Utah. And I remember when we last time went to Portland, we flew, and when we were flying back, we had to stop in Utah. And I remember looking around, and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy over here." Utah is kind of neat looking. It was like nothing but stuff. You would fly to Portland for a meetup? Oh my gosh, don't do that. I'm really underwhelming. I'm so underwhelming in person. It's and in most other places, it's yeah. I always feel so bad if someone's like, "Oh my gosh, are you that guy that breaks books on the internet?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm just too awkward. I'm so awkward in person. Just hit myself with my phone. I guess it's time for bed. I think it's probably time for me as well. Someday you'll have to hit Massachusetts if your sons read the Wimpy Kid series. The guy that writes them owns a really awesome small bookstore here. No way. Oh my gosh, they love that series. They love Diary of a Wimpy Kid. They love Dogman. I believe that's also by him, right? Yeah, Daisy. Yeah, do it. I just don't want you to, that seems like a lot. um, I know you do wedding photography. Are you with Stems Flowers in Toronto? They do wedding flowers and decor. I used to work for them, and you look super familiar. I do wedding photography, and I don't know if I've probably worked with Stems Flowers. I honestly never remember the names of these places, and I'm shooting weddings almost every weekend, so it's hard to remember. But that's really cool. Stems Flowers. Oh yeah, that's good looking stuff. I'm sure I've worked with them, but I can't honestly remember off the top of my pop. But anyways, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for joining in on the live here. I really appreciate you guys all joining in. I love being able to do this. It's honestly just so friggin' fun. East Coast road trip is going to happen 2026, and it's going to be a Booksaresick tour. I'm going to bring a t-shirt gun. I'm just going to drive by and like it's gonna be great. Oh, sorry, Sarah. Yeah, we've been rolling for about an hour and a half. My voice is just absolutely gone. And I keep coughing. I feel bad. But if you're in the Patreon, this will save and will be available in there to watch. So again, thanks guys for being in there. Thanks for being here. Thanks for reading the book. 11/22/63 month is here. We are all reading this book of beauty here. Some people have already finished it. Most people are loving it, I hope. And we are going to be so actually, Sarah, if you're in here, there's going to be a mid-month live, which we never do. So next Thursday, 8 p.m., there's going to be another live where we're going to be talking about 11/22/63 up to part 3, which is about 230 pages in. So try to get there if you can. And we'll go over the first 200 pages and see what everybody's thinking, and then just probably do another random whatever. So thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you so much. We'll see you over in the page. And yeah, you know what I mean? Love you. See you guys.